so far in the number 1 spot, I have K6VXY Vern, and in the number 2 spot, I have W6QI Dave, and in the number 3 spot, I have Mike, W7MS. So, let's see if there's anybody else out there that wants to be an early check-in before I get the net going. Please come now.
W6 SSP.
Okay, I got W6 SSP Steve. Is there anybody else out there who would like to be number 5? Please come now.
W6 OPE.
Good morning, Tom. WA6 OPE is in the number 5 spot. Is there anybody else out there who would like to be number 6? Please come now. Okay, nothing heard, so let me get this going here. Let's see. Good morning. USC. This is the Vintage Military Radio Net. This is Whiskey 4, Delta Victor, Quebec. My name is Carla, and I will be your net control this morning. We will be operating on 3974 KC. The Vintage Military Radio Net is a roundtable AM net that provides an opportunity for hams to operate their vintage military radio gear on the air. Military gear is encouraged, but certainly not required. Check-ins will be given a number that can be used in the handoff. I will call for check-ins at the end of each round table. If anyone has anything for sale or want, please mention it in your turn on the round table session. So, guys, okay, I'm going to make one more call out for a number 6. Who would like to be number 6? Please come now.
K0DWC.
Okay, good morning, Chuck. K0DWC is the number 6. Is there anybody who'd like to be number 7? Please come now. All right, I'm going to do the rundown one more time. For number 1 is K6VXY Vern. Number 2 is W6MQI Dave. Number 3 is W7MS Mike. Number 4 is W6SSP Steve. Number 5 is WA6OPE Tom. And number 6 is K0DWC Chuck. So, I guess it's the first round. We'll start with number 1. But first, I'm going to give my equipment rundown. I'm a little rusty, guys, so bear with me. I'm on the ART-13 and the Helicopters R274 with the D104 microphone. So, starting with number 1, go ahead and take it, Vern. K6VXY to take it. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Carla. Yeah, I was looking at my microphone as you said that. I had a D104 for a long time. Call here K6VXY, location Groveland, California, or Pine Mountain Lake near the airport. And I'm running the the antenna is holding in there. The squirrels have not bothered me. It's full wave, I guess a half wave, not a full wave, it's a half wave 80-meter dipole, strung up pretty high at the ends, 40, 50 feet, but the center droops down to a little over 30 feet. Works pretty well. And I'm still running the ICOM 7200, 35 watts out, but not really, it's 8 watts because it's AM, and into an SB200 heat kit, and I checked it earlier this morning. I'm running 90 watts carrier, and I was thinking about a D104, still am some, but I've got awfully good reports with this SM30 ICOM mic here. Maybe my voice matches up with it well or something. Hard to say. So good morning to all. And amazing. I haven't been on for a month, and I lined up number 1. I was tuning up here and doing some testing, and ran into Dave, who is number 2. W6MQI, we're talking about 2 meters of all things. Yeah, it's shot right now. There's not much going on. W6MQI and the group K6VXY.
All right, K6VXY, W6MQI. All right. Well, good morning to all, and good morning to Carla. Thanks for wrangling our herd here. I'm surprised to hear you come up. But all signals are sounding good right now. I think Vern is number 1. But copying everybody through screen. And we're on the TCS set this morning. D104 microphone. Driving inverted V, about 45 feet or so. And weather here is about 60 degrees, clear, no wind. And the big tree, the giant, big giant tree I got over my shack here. It's September, and it's in its stage where it pollinates. I gotta close the doors because it's hay fever time again. That sucks. But anyway, up to the voice of Reno, Mike, W7MS, W6.
Well, thank you, Dave. W6MQI and the Nevada Vintage Military Net, W7MS, Mike in Reno. Good morning to all. And a big welcome to Carla on her return as NCS, giving Chuck a break, but nice to know that Chuck's out there also. So good morning, Chuck. Very great to hear you. We've noted your absence. Morning, Dave, Steve, and Tom. That's who I have on the wanted list so far. But this morning running the infamous wireless set 19 Mark II Charlie Zebra radio contract, in other words, Zenith, licensed from the Pie Company in great jolly old England. Running 3 watts to my home-built 4CX 2500 amplifier, about 120 watts of carrier as we drift down in frequency. And beautiful Cyrillic jibber jabber on the front panel here, and of course designed to be a Lend-Lease device for the Soviet Union. And one thing I would like to note is when you're watching any of the old vintage propaganda, newsreel, or etc. shots from the Soviet Union, you'll never see Lend-Lease equipment featured. But we certainly supplied a lot, including tens of thousands of radios, not to mention Jeeps, deuce and halves, and whatever else. But enough of that blither blather. Over to Steve, W6SSP, W7MS.
Okay, Mike, thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. Good to hear everybody on. Reasonably good conditions today. And Carla, good to hear you's net control. Really different. You sound great. Anyway, this is Steve, W6SSP, just north of Santa Rosa, running the usual boring Collins 32V1 transmitter, 85 watts out, and 75A1 receiver. D104 microphone,
Antennas dipole about 30 feet up or so, which is not that great compared to some of you folks that are up on hills and have big fancy antennas. So that's why sometimes I'm not able to hear people all that well here, but today it's okay. Let's see, I wanted to mention that in about 3 weeks, Lincoln is coming up, September 21st. That's a really good swap for those that haven't been. I think most of you have. Hope to be there myself this year. Let's see, we'll send it over to Tom. Well, what's that? WA6OPE, W6SSP.
Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, boy, a barking sound, intermittent barking sound has appeared. Lovely. A big one, too. Let's see, W6SSP, WA6OPE. Good morning to everybody. Morning, Carla. Long time no hear. Tom here in beautiful Richmond. It's nice, typical Richmond morning, although there's no appreciable high fog. Just a few clouds, a little bit of residual type high cloud, fog type. And it's nice and cool. And that's the usual. We're on the usual rig, too, the usual boring old rig. The TCM transmitter and RBC receiver. Busy with things other than radio again these days. And let's see, I thought I would mention Steve got one too. Same one, I believe. Message from Jason. I think you all remember Jason. He used to participate in this stuff. He used to come to the Minden Swamp. He's now in southeast Georgia. He's been there for years now. Anyway, nice email message from him, and he went, funny story, he went to a swamp meet, a pretty famous one called the Shelby Swamp Meet. I think it's in North Carolina. About a 400-mile drive for him. And anyway, kind of a funny report, as I called it, as I responded. A horror story, a ham radio horror story. So anyway, nice to hear from Jason. And I sent him a lengthy reply. And I'm looking forward to speaking of swamp meets, and I hope it's not a horror story. I'm pretty sure it will not be, which is the Lincoln Swamp coming up. That's a good one. Still, last of the Mohicans. Nobody selling tacos, nobody selling socks. All radio stuff. And all kinds of characters running around. Some of them tottering around. Anyway, so that's what's happening here. I'll keep it moving. I think there'll be, hopefully, some other people will show up here this morning. But in the meantime, according to my list here, goes number 6, K0DWC, WA6OPE.
Okay, Tom, WA6OPE, K0DWC. Alrighty. Well, Q5 copy on everybody. Got some, a little bit of QRN. I wouldn't really call it QSD because, I've got a lot of static noise in the background, but nobody's fading really. So, conditions. But anyway, good to hear everybody this morning. Vern, good to have you back. Up and running again. Dave, you're pounding in here. Mike, you really sound cool with the wireless set 19. You sound different, but it's a good sounding different, thanks for putting that one on. That's I don't think you run that one very often, but when you do, it's a treat to hear it. So great job there. And Steve, the 32V1's working great for you. Tom, you got a great signal in here this morning, Dayton. So far so good. Like I said, a little bit of static in the background, but not too bad overall. So anyway, I will send it back to net control to see if there's anybody else out there. So
W4DVQ K0DWC.
Okay, K0DWC, this is Whiskey 4, Delta Victor, Quebec. Okay, I'm going to see if there's anybody like to check in on the tail end of the first round in B number 7. Please come now.
WA7 YBS.
Okay, I got Henry in the number 7 spot, WA7 YBS. Good morning, Henry. And then in the number 8, I have Bill in 6 Bravo Charlie Tango. So is there anybody else would like to check in and be number 9? Please come now. Okay, with that, nothing heard. Go ahead, Henry, WA7 YBS, and hand it to Bill. And Bill, hand it back up to net control, W4 Delta Victor, Quebec. Go ahead, Henry.
Okay. Well, good morning, Carla. Modulating the ART-13 quite well. And good to hear you on. And Vern's coming in here strong. Good morning, Vern. Dave, of course, is always strong. Morning, Dave. Mike on the wireless set 19 is sounding good and quite potent signal over here. Steve, W6SSP, about a S7, S8, Q5 certainly, no problem. And good morning to you. Morning to Tom, WA60PE. Good signal, probably S9 or so. And Chuck, of course, is very strong. Bill, I did hear, and Bill is Q5 at the moment. So we're on the ART-13A. We're running about 130 watts of carrier power, and that's going to the collinear array. And the receiver is the HRO7T black wrinkle finish version. So anyway, that's the rundown. Temperature was 54 this morning, and it's kind of mostly clear, but there's some clouds here and there. Not bad. It'll probably be maybe 90 today, maybe a little more. Anyway, 1st of September weather kind of normal. So with that, we'll turn it over to Bill, N6BCT WA7YBS.
Okay, November 6th, Bravo Charlie Tango. This is Whiskey 4 Delta Victor, Quebec. Very good. Heard you clear, Bill. So everything's so good so far. Let me just call one more time to see if there's somebody else out there that would like to check in and be number 9. Please come now. Okay, nothing heard. Well, good morning, everybody. Everybody's Q5 copy with a little bit of static noise, but everybody's comparable. Okay, we won't go there. But anyhow, it's nice to be back on the air. I don't have a whole lot of projects going on, but okay, enough of that. I guess I'll go ahead and hand it back to Vern, and with the squirrel issue. K6VXY, this is W4DVQ. Take it, Vern.
Okay, thanks, Carla. Yeah, you brought up a good point on the squirrels. Yeah, I think one reason that it's working out is I tried something, a couple months ago now, where one leg of the 80-meter dipole, I redid it. I went to number 12 gauge wire, and I wrapped the wire over the tree. So in other words, I was a little tree a little closer, but I think about 15 to 20 feet of that leg is vertical. I don't know if that helps the signal, but I figured the squirrels wouldn't go after copper wire, and so far they haven't. There's another section I want to do, which is a section I used to use toward the back end of the backyard, and string some, I guess it's, what do you call it, steel cable or whatever. It's real strong, and slip that over there so they don't go after that. But they never have bothered it, but I hate to say that because never have bothered. Oh, okay, it's almost like they're listening, right? But I do have a question for both Steve and Tom, because Tom mentioned the swap meet, I think the Lincoln net, and then the 21st, because I'd be interested in that. I'm not sure what that is. I would need to, maybe the name of it or something. I can look it up on the internet. My traveling now is much better. I've gone as far as 80 or 90 miles round trip. I'm sorry, each way, so over 150 miles at driving. And it was more of a fatigue thing. There's no problem with the leg. The surgery now is a long time ago. It's May, June, July, almost 4 months. So we're a few days short of 4 months since the surgery. So I'm getting around pretty good, but the doctor said until November, when he sees me for the 6-month checkup, that he wants me to use the cane as much as possible. You may feel good, and I do, and better, but you'd be surprised that number of people, even further out, have fallen down because they didn't use a cane. But in the kitchen, you know, we have an island, so I use that. Refrigerator door, stove, top, countertop. So that works fine. So as far as going to a swap thing, as long as the ground is solid, like the N7 RCA has all that ground up dirt, that I wouldn't want to walk on for a little while. Probably by next summer. Be fine. It should be fine by Christmas even. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Dave in Livermore. Had an interesting discussion about 2 meters before we really got started today. I wasn't alone. I guess the interest just went down. But I used to do 2-meter AM a long time ago. I had a tour, and then I had the upgrade. I thought it was HW17 I used, and I like that. And there was a lot of people that would get around in the evening during the week. And it was much more active. But I think when the repeaters took over, it seemed like there just wasn't a lot of people to get on there and just rag shoot, which is really what we did before. What we're doing now, and talking about equipment. Okay, with that, I'm turning it over to, make it up for lost time. Yak. W6MQI Dave to take it. Great net, Carla. You're doing great. Thank you. K6VXY.
Hi, K6VXY, W6MQI. All right, Vern. Yep, 2 meters, pretty much dead. Cell phones have pretty much taken that over. I used to enjoy working the satellites. I used to work Oscar 13. Really enjoyed that. And then 6 meters, meteor scatter. The digital modes on 6 meters, and I guess it's pretty much taken over. Nobody even gets on CW or single sideband. That digital product is pretty much taken over. I'm kind of getting tired of them encroaching down on the 40 meter CW band too. There's a station at 7050. Likes to sit there and beacon. I don't know what kind of digital thing it is, but it's loud enough here where it makes it tough. But yeah. Well, yeah, we have a swap meet coming up here locally, I guess. Last year it wasn't very good, but PacificCon, I'll probably go to that. I got some Drake radios. I just can't seem to get rid of them. They've been up for sale for a while. Actually, pretty clean beeline as well. But nobody seems to be interested. The market is definitely has changed. I think people are a little tight on their money here as well. So things just aren't selling as like they used to. The prices have definitely dropped. I did pick up locally here a Yaesu monitor scope, a YO100. Appears that it hadn't been turned on in a long time. A lot of sticky push buttons. I got all those working and brought it up on a Variac, and all voltages looked good, but I didn't get a trace on the CRT at all. No matter what I did, I could not get a trace, so I figured, oh crap, the CRT's bad. Well, I stumbled across a video on YouTube where a guy was working on one, and he kind of had the same problem as I did. And he solved the problem by taking the blunt end of the handle end of a screwdriver, and he was kind of banging on the shield of the CRT, and the darn thing came alive. Okay, so I came back out here, sure enough, I did that, and all of a sudden I got a trace. But definitely going to need a recap. The trace is a little funky. It's a little weak too, so got some things to look into it. But anyway, I set that aside for a future project. At least I know it works. But I ended up carrying the RA05 receiver from the garage where I recapped it. Broke my back, bringing it clear out in the backyard. Brought it in the shack here, and fired it up. And it worked. Sort of. Boy, did I make a bonehead mistake when I was recapping it. I don't even want to say what I did. But anyway, I found the mistake. I got parts on order, so hopefully that'll solve my problem. But the unit did work. It really wasn't pulling any more excessive current or anything. I had it going through a dim bulb. And, you know, everything looked cool. It's just I made a mistake in there. I'm kind of surprised it didn't throw some sparks, but luckily I found it in time before damage was produced. So once I get those replaced, hopefully it'll work 100%. I know it's going to need a major realignment because I went through every single variable cap and spun them and put deoxit on everything and kind of put them back in the original positions, but you know how that is, they're not perfect. But so anyway, hopefully next weekend I can get the new parts put in and start getting that thing aligned and on air. So, but I'm glad it works anyway. I'll have to send some pictures to Tom. I got all cleaned up. I polished all the IF cans, did some painting and such. Looks, well, that's brand new. Unfortunately, the chassis had some corrosion, so I wasn't able to get that right nice, but all in all, turned out good. So far I'm pleased with it. But anyway, that's about it for here. So over to Mike, W7MS, W6MQI.
Well, thank you, Dave. W6MQI, W7MS. Well, we'll say good morning to Henry and Bill. Yeah, Bill was Q5, at least for the moment. So we've heard both of his transmissions, the initial check-in and the howdy-doody. It was strange. I thought I was hearing some mark in space on top of Bill's transmission that was coincident with his transmission, which may just be some cross modulation issues in my beautiful wireless set 19 since nobody else has commented, but it was great background hearing some Merkin space tones. But let me see your comments. Steve, great on Lincoln. Yeah, we'll be there, and we'll have a pre-Lincoln warm-up the previous Saturday with our swap meet here locally at Cabela's, which I'm sure Henry will comment on. Tom, nice to know you're keeping busy with your other avocation and interests, but hopefully the stuff's moving on. Chuck, I always like your positive comments on my audio, that it sounds different, but it sounds good. So thank you, Chuck, and glad to see that you passed the reins on to the wife. And of course, Carla is modulating quite well this morning. And Vern, thanks on the updates on your recovery strategy, and also the fact your ability to travel. I think if you just Google Lincoln Swap, you'll have plenty of information there via your search engine of choice. And of course, Lincoln is on Interstate 80 over by Sacramento, just to clue you in there. And Dave, glad to know that your lower back is still intact. Great on the RAO5. And the secret mistake, but you've got that's full admissions there. Glad to hear that that's well on the sprint burner here. Projects here still figured to wrapped up kind of a lot of the physical interaction with my power supply project for the Technical Material Corporation, RFD1 Baker. And that's currently in the house for some point-to-point wiring and some shakedown crews, and that'll be probably a few more weeks since there are plenty of other things to do. It's still summertime, but we've been working on that. And just doing a frequency check. It's always fun here on the wireless set 19. Everybody sounds great on receive since it's so wide, but it does tend to want to drift down in frequency. We should address that problem someday. But it's such an infrequent user that we'll hang it up today and forget about that until the next foray into wireless set 19 activity. So with that, over to Steve, and great to hear you this morning, Steve. W6SSP, W7MS.
Okay, Mike, very good. Conditions are below about 2.3 that time, 2.5 and about 4. So that may just normal for this time of day. Good morning, Henry and Bill. Good to hear you guys on. Hope you were able to make it to the parking lot. It's pretty good. It's in a parking lot, so no gravel or potholes to trip over. It's pretty nice, and seller's fee is only $10. So if you got anything to sell, that's a good one to bring stuff to. Plus, if you buy stuff, you want to haul it all the way to the buyer's parking lot, just park in the seller's lot, and not that far. So hope you make it. I hope I do too this year. It's still kind of up in the air. And let's see, also I wanted to comment on Jason's expedition to the Shelby, North Carolina swap meet. He said there were sellers there pawning off air mattresses and home security systems and Confederate flags and CB radios. Quite a few CB radios apparently. So I thought that was pretty funny, and actually matches my experiences from being in that area and going to swap meets almost 45 years ago now. It was pretty much the same. Not much good equipment up for sale, and what showed up was expensive and poor condition. So pretty interesting. Anyway, and Dave, good you got the REO working at least. I won't harass you about the mistakes you made. We all make those. And boy, those things are heavy. I'll tell you, mine is parked pretty much where it got restored, just because I don't want to move it anymore. And I've got the pan adapter DC 1031 sitting on top of it, which is also a heavy beast. I hope they don't go through the floor of the house, but there's a good possibility of all the junk around it, around the tube mainly. Anyway, let's see, not much going on with radios again this summer at all. Did spend some time in the shop this week for the first time in months. Building a little variable power supply for 1.2 up to 16 volt 1 amp supply for all the little QRP radios I've been accumulating lately. Most of them I use one of those Chinese volt ammeters in it, which really work great. It really makes things nice. So that's about it for me. We'll send it over to Tom, WA6OPE, W6SSP.
Okay, W6SSP, WA6OPE. Good morning to Henry. Good signal, nice and strong, overriding my new noise. This new noise is a awful too, let me tell you. Sounds like the 12 kV arc. So yeah, it's a nasty one. It's so bad I even went outside and looked at the pole, expecting to be able to hear something. So, but I don't hear anything, but it can't be too far away. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. Yeah, so some of you it's just barely copy, not very well due to the power line noise. So I'm going to say 73 and talk to you all later. Oh, and Dave, yeah, I would appreciate seeing some pictures. It's always nice when you get rid of something and it goes to a good home and has a new life and is happy. So, yeah, love to see it. Okay, 73, everybody, and take care. Goes over to number 6, K0DWC, WA6OPE.
Okay, Tom, W6OPE, K0DWC. Well, you still got a good signal in here. But 7 threes, and have a good day. And I forgot to mention about Jason. Tom, if you talk to Jason or whatever, tell him that we said hi and that we do miss him. You know, at the swap meet on the net and everything. And I know that trip. That's a long trip for him to make that swap meet. I've got a daughter. My youngest daughter lives in Shelby, North Carolina. So that's about a 400-mile trek, I guess. But anyway, good morning to Henry and good morning to Bill. Oh, me. All righty. Well, yeah, Henry, you're always rattling the dust off the windowsill. Bill, I agree with Carla. I was listening on the ARR7 while she was listening on the Hallicrafters R274, and at least that last go-around there, he was 100% copy. I don't know what it'll be like this time, but he was copyable the last time. But, anyway, we're not doing a whole lot around here. We're doing a lot of outside work, working the corral and stuff, and some general cleanup, stuff like that. And nothing radio-wise here right yet. When it gets cold out, there will be. But anyway, we'll keep it going, and I'll send it down the street to Henry, WA7YBS 30DWC.
Okay, that was a little tune-up exercise, and unfortunately the tuner, the matchbox, the kilowatt matchbox is across the room, and of course I have a cable for the throttle switch on the ART13, and so anyway I had to do a little tweak and peek, but it required me to get out of the chair and actually go across the room and use a cable switch to remotely actuate the ART-13. So there you go, rundown of what the little bit of dead carrier there with no audio was about. So anyway, very good on all, and good on the RAO5. I managed to pick up, off of Evil Bay, of course, a original manual for the RAO3, and of course the RAO4. They were on the same contract. RAO3s were whatever the number was, their A, and then the RAO4 was the same number with a B suffix. And the only difference is the power transformer in the RAO4 is dual primary, so you can run it on 230 volts AC. So anyway, excellent. This manual has a lot of stuff that was I haven't seen before on RAOs. So it was called the Preliminary Instruction Book, and it was restricted. So typical 1943 type of deal there. So anyway, it was a nice find. And let's see. Okay, well, let's see. How about an ATD? That's the project. And I actually put a signal out on the air on CW, and 35 watts. And of course, it should be able to do more than that, but I'm trying to get it to run on an ART power supply, ART-13 power supply, and that the low voltage of 400 volts, there's just doesn't have enough current, and so that's dropping it down about 320, 330 volts, which is a little low. So since the screen voltage is low on the 814, I can't quite get it up to 40 or 50 watts output. But I'll tell you, that thing is not designed to run into a 50 ohm load. It doesn't even know that a dummy load, a 50 ohm dummy load, is even there. It just acts like there's no antenna at all, or no resistive load. It does not like 50 ohms at all. And so I had to put a variable cap on the antenna and to ground, kind of like how the ART-13 auxiliary condenser does. And then I had to set the switches to something different, and I finally got it to be able to load up. And so anyway, it's coming along. Side tone doesn't work, and the on phone, on voice, it's pretty anemic. I suspect there's more relays in there that need the contacts really cleaned. So anyway, that's the ATD. It's coming along. I may have to do something about the 380 volts to get some more current availability. And so we're not to the point where the ATD is worthy of being on the air, although it was putting out RF to an antenna yesterday. So that's a rundown on the ATD. So let's turn it over to Bill, N6BCT, WA7 YBS.
Okay, N6 to BCT. This is Whiskey 4 Delta Victor Quebec. Well, very good. 73 to Tom, WA60PE. And I didn't know whether to check just to see. This is going to be the 73 round. But let me see if there's anybody that wants to get in on the tail end of the second round and be number 9. Please come now. Okay, guys, this is going to be the 73 round. But, Bill, I did get your email. I appreciate that, with John's number, MIT's number. I will try to get, maybe give him a call or something. I've been busy. Actually, I got to go to work here in a couple of hours. But and by the time I get home and make supper and all that stuff, I'm just tag on the toe by the end of the day. But I appreciate that, and I still have it. Let's see. I was going to say something else about Jason. Yeah, I missed that guy. But yeah, Shelby, North Carolina. I took Chuck to watch my brother race dirt bikes down there when me and Chuck first got together. So that's really close to home for me. And I can't imagine the swap meet. Okay, we won't talk about that. But when is the next Cabela swap meet? I might be able to dig some stuff out, and do they charge to sell there? I'm sure they do. So if somebody could enlighten me on that, I'd appreciate it. But let's go ahead and do the 73 rounds while the conditions are still fair. So back up the burn. K6 of VXY. This is Whiskey 4 Delta Victor Quebec. Go ahead, Burn.
Okay, thanks, Carla. This K6 yeah, I was curious. Lincoln Flat seems to be a popular one, but I'm not sure of the date. There was one mentioned on the 21st of September. So something like that. And then I guess, Carla, you said something about the Carvalho swap. I'm not sure where that is, but the Lincoln swap sounds pretty good too, because where I'm located, I take Highway 99. I just shoot straight up Highway 99 once I get over to Stockton, and it's probably around 100 miles or so. It'll be very good. We almost bought a house. I mentioned that before in Lincoln years ago when we were looking around to move. We never did. We were in Dublin almost 30 years. My wife and I looked back and said, gee, should we have ever left that house? It was a smaller house, but we had a redesign for about, I think around 1,600, 1,700 square feet, which is what we're in now. We're around a bungalow and a family room. And the schools were better. A lot of things, you know, you look back and think, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda may not be what you think woulda, coulda, shoulda was actually going to happen that way. That's enough woulda, coulda, shoulda. At least I can tell it that way. Anyhow, turn it over to Blue there in Livermore. Yeah, it's just the effort on great sideband some, that guy, what's his called, New York, NYC. And I do have a 10-element 2-meter antenna, only 2-meter only. I could try to get a better signal, but yeah, it just seemed like I could sense even with the sideband net, the activity level was down from what it was. But well, I tell you, when I first got into 2 meters, I was talking back in the early 60s, before I went to the Navy, it was something else. And having that tour, and I think I had 3 or 4 footballs, and 145 3.5, 145.8, 146 something, and another 145. But they were just people hanging out there, and a.m. Okay, with that, good morning. I didn't say good morning to you guys yet, but hope I'm here. And Mike, on your project, so you got a lot of different radios you're working on. That's fun. Well, back to W4DVQ at 73 zone, and hopefully I'll be here next week. It's K6VXY on that link. Over to Dave.
Okay, K6VXY, W6MQI. Yeah, the Lincoln swap meet for September 21st, Saturday, September 21st, starts with 9:00. So, there you go. And, yep, conditions are fading fast here. So, this is 73, and, yeah, Henry, I saw that manual on eBay. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it, but I couldn't. Our credit card had gotten hacked, so we had to cancel that, and we were without a credit card for about 5 days or so. So couldn't purchase it, but good job finding that. Sounds like a good manual. So 73, everybody, and talk to you guys next week. And we got some probably good time for the conditions and the sidebanders are starting to encroach here. So anyway, over to Mike, W7MS, W6MQI.
Well, thanks, Dave. W6MQI and the Nevada military nest, W7MS. Yeah, Carla, it's $10 to the admission price for sellers at the Cabela swap, and I'm sure Henry will have a lot of comments on that. $10. The keeper of the gate. Yes, I think Henry maybe has gotten over, but we may resurrect his anger. But yeah, quick comments on Dave's Jiggle Fix. I had a Jiggle Fix Friday night, which kind of an interesting story. Was on 3885 AM doing some routine test transmissions with a fellow amateur using identical transmitters, and we both had coincident failures pretty much at the same point in time with the transmitters. Mine was not specifically transmitter related, it's related to I believe a set of vacuum relays in a Rockwell Collins device, which is called an antenna flattener. Is a Jiggle Fix exercising the through bypass switch cleared the problem, and I've never really seen a intermittent issue with vacuum relays before, but that may be the first time, but then again that may not be the real problem. But it was amazing, and we both went off the air essentially synchronized, and won't get more specific than that, but you know, it's a foot of amateur radio. And Henry, great on the ACC update. Power out. Yes, I think I'm running. I took a quick look. I'm running a 6 Mica for 75. I think it's 300 picofarads. They're microfarads. Stay true to kilocycles and kilohertz, but that's in series, and I think it looks up fine. But you're right. And I'm sure you've already probably done it, but there are, I think, one or two electrolytics buried inside that ACD that are flat in and about the audio section. So if you haven't tackled that one, break out some cases here and track those electrolytics down. But with that, I'm going to say 7.3, that's fun. And nice to hear some of the unusual and usual suspects this morning. So I believe Steve may have signed. I know Tom did, but we'll see if Steve still hears me. W6SSP, W7MS.
I think you turned it over to me. W7MS, W6SSP.
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, I think I got it. Conditions are really faded, so things are pretty bad right now. Lincoln here is supposed to be cooled by the 7 a.m. starting So it's going full bore by sun. We're pretty darn close to it. We try to get there about 5:30 or so. Last year when we did, we had to park way down at the end of the Sellers area. So it's just our fault up there very early, if at all possible. Anyway, guys, conditions are really bad. So the Chuck, silence. I'll send over the Chuck to go over the copy. K0DWC, W6SSP, 73L.
Okay, Steve, W6SSB, K0DWC. We're still 100% copy over here. It's the typical background noise that we've been having. For something that will be sustainable. So, heard 100% of the transmission speed. So, good deal there. All right, guys, I'll show my 7.3s as well. Talk to you guys later. Well, you guys have a good day today and a good week as well. Take care. I will send it over to Henry, WA7 YBS, K0DWC.
Okay, Chuck, K0DWC, WA7 YBS. Okay. And yeah, thanks, Mike, for the tip. I have not looked at the electrolytics on that ATD yet, but yeah, well, 80-year-old electrolytics, what can you expect? But yeah, I'll take a look at those. I was just trying to get the darn thing to match a 50-ohm load, and I think that actual, it's designed for a 25-foot T antenna. It's probably looking at 10 ohms or something. I took two dummy loads, two 50-ohm dummy loads, and hooked them in parallel, so I'd have 25 ohms, and it wouldn't even see that. So it was pretty funny. But anyways, coming along. So that's that. Let's see. Carla on Cabela's. It is September 14th, 2 weeks from yesterday. So, and of course, it's at Boomtown, across the street from Boomtown, Cabela's parking lot. And $10. I would not, and Mike brought this up, or I wouldn't say anything, but I would not pay in advance. Whoever maintains the website is comatose most of the time. So, you pay online, everything looks good, and when you get there, the keeper of the gate has no idea that you paid. And so anyway, pay when you get there. That's the best way. Other than that, it's a good local gathering. And, of course, spring is better. The spring Cabela's meet usually is 25 or so sellers. The fall one's about maybe 15, 17 sellers. So anyway, but it's a good get-together for the locals. And so with that, hope you can make it. We will be there. And I don't know what I'll bring, but it's not going to be heavy stuff because I just end up bringing it home again. So anyway, it'll be lightweight stuff. 73 all around. Everybody have a good week. And we'll turn it over to Bill, N6BCT, WA7YBS.
Okay, 73 to everybody. Thanks for the swap meet update. And Henry, are you going to Lincoln? Are you going to the Lincoln swap? I don't think I'll be able to go because I don't have a passport. So anyhow, with that, guys, I'm going to close the net down. But MS, Mike, I'm just going to leave all my stuff that if I bring the Cabela's, I'll just leave it all in totes and you can just load it right into your trailer. You don't have to sort through it or nothing. You just take it home and look at it all and keep it. So with that, I'm going to close the net, and Chuck's going to be net control next week. So I'm going to close the net. This is Whiskey 4, Delta Victor Quebec, securing the vintage military radio net for today, and would like to thank everyone for their participation and invite everyone back next Sunday morning when Chuck will be net control. So I'm turning this frequency over to regular amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 4, Delta Victor Quebec, signing off. 73 guys, and thanks for putting up with me.